Hi, Sunny. You can start the session now.
Hi, yep, okay, thank you. Okay, so good morning, everyone. As you can see, my name is Sunny. I take care of Veeam pre-sales in Redington for the entire Gulf. So today we are going to talk about for the cloud part of Veeam. As most of you are already aware that in Veeam we have a separate division for the cloud services wherein we enable the partners to provide the cloud services. So today we are talking about the VCSP platform, specifically on AWS platform, how it works, how you can build your services around AWS platform, and you can start selling cloud services of Veeam on AWS platform. So if you have any query, any technical clarification, anything which needs to be addressed on VCSP platform, this is my email ID. You can send me an email at any point of time. So let's start. Let's begin today's session then. So as far as today's agenda goes, uh, first we'll start with the market opportunities, where the market trend is going. Then we'll talk about a bit of the challenges. You being an MSP, what all challenges you see as a partner in MSP world. Then what exactly VCSP means for a partner, how you can enable these services, and you can add those services on your portfolio and provide it to your end customers. Then we have created a kind of AWS bundle on VCSP platform on AWS. Just to give you a brief overview how you can build your services in terms of resource consumptions, in terms of costing, how it can scale in, scale out, etc., etc. Then we have introduced a promo specifically for those partners who are interested in selling VCSP on AWS platform, that is specific to AWS platform. Then the licensing part and the usage reporting, how VCSP licensing as usage works. Then a very excellent and great platform introduced by Veeam called VCSP Pulse. So we'll talk about all those things, and then we'll go with a brief kind of overview of a demo of the product which VCSP infrastructure uses. So let's begin with the market and the opportunity. Where are the market and what are the opportunities you as a partner see in MSP world, right? If you see in today's world, availability becomes a more challenging task for an organization. So if you see in today's world, in the today's data center, most of the partners, most of the end customers are using server virtualization, right? Whether it is VMware, whether it is Hyper-V, whether it is Nutanix CHV, but most of them had started using virtualization. And along with it, the amount of data which is coming up, right? So all those applications, the virtualization technologies are generating data. So if you see in today's world, there is a lot of requirement wherein customer wants that their data should be available quite fast. So the backup and recovery process should be like this, wherein they don't have to go through a long manual process, and the data availability, the guarantee, the recovery process should take place, right? So this is where the trend is going. Then if you see, there are lots of talks are going on towards the infrastructure orchestration, the automation of the services, whether you talk about the DR services, whether you talk about the backup automation services, whether you talk about the resolution services, all those different tools are available in the market which provides you different level of services. Then Data center consolidation. This is also one of the major part which lots of enterprises are focusing on. They are centralizing everything. They want to manage it from one central location, whether it is application, whether it is backup, whether it is DR, whether it is orchestration, whether it is monitoring. Everything they wanted to do it from one centralized place. Then if you see in the hardware industries, lots of enhancements are coming, like use of ssd, flash storage technologies. Then the converged infrastructure is also coming into a picture, wherein you are wherein customer are started using hyper converged infrastructure. So if you see all those parameters, right, each parameters is associated with a data center, and each data center kind of produce lots of data, which is either application data, email data, any kind of data. That data is associated with your businesses, which needs to be protected by a valuable partner. So here, for an MSP, for a managed service provider, the opportunity comes in wherein they can position their services with their SLAs built on VCSP platforms for respective customers, right? So how do we do this? Let's talk about it. If you see overall the trend for the backup as a service and DR as a service for end customers provided by partners. So if you see, there are certain parameters which are being defined by Veeam. These are 75% of the customer in the market are using, or they require kind of backup as a service. What is the reason behind it? When you talk about the backup and the DR services, that part of a data center is most valuable part, wherein end customer cannot take a risk. They want a solution which can 100% fulfill their requirement. So for you as a partner, when you use Veeam infrastructure, because in Veeam we have different level of tools, we have certain things which gives you almost a guarantee of RPOs and RTOs of less than 15 minutes. And being CDP comes into the picture, this gets more lesser if you are using Veeam best practices, and according to customer requirement, all those numbers can be achieved. So if you see in today's world, wherein everything is going like pay as you go model, uh, everything is going like, if you consume you will pay, if you are not consuming you will not pay. So in these type of models, these are couple of points wherein you as a managed service provider see an opportunity for a business, and also it is a value for an end customer. Some customers require store data remotely for DR. Almost 38% of the customers require these type of services, wherein they can do failover and failback. So they require these type of services, more cost effective than in-house. For you being a competent partner who are very well versed with the VCSP platform, you have the more knowledge compared to customer in-house resource who is not well versed with the Veeam technologies. So for you, it is easier to sell those services and provide values to the customer when it comes to DR or backup, right? Along with it, you as an MSP, what you do, you free up the IT staff for your customers to do their own initiative, wherein they can utilize their resources. Because for you as an MSP, you have an SLA with your end customer, and you are taking care of the backup and DR environment. So 30% of the initiatives can be taken care by freeing up the IT staff. The most important part, you are reducing their on-premise footprint. When we talk about backup and DR, it's huge. It comes in TB, depends on the organization size, right? So what you are doing, since you are managing everything in on your infrastructure by providing backup as a service, DR as a service, customers on-premise hardware footprints are getting lesser, right? Along with it, with the Veeam tools, with the Veeam One tools, you provide them better management and reporting, right? When we say the management, we have like lots of dashboards. We have tenant views wherein tenant can see their usages, tenant can see their invoices, tenant can see the reporting, etc., etc., and improve service levels. By each notification, you can meet your SLA, whatever SLA you have defined with your partner. So for you as a partner, the opportunity in the market to sell backup as a service, DR as a service is huge, right? So I would say that the trend from the past, couple of years, which is going towards cloud, wherein everything is kind of pay as you go, this offering becomes very important, offering of your product portfolio, wherein your customer as well as partner both can benefit from it. So what is it, right? 62% of the managed services in the market are being provided by MSPs, right? If you talk about the bigger organization, they don't want to keep everything in house. They always try to give it to an MSP who have better knowledge of the product, who can provide those SLAs. So for a service provider, there is a market opportunity wherein you can sell backup as a service, TR as a service. If you see, as of today, this slide again is a bit old. uh, we have around the world almost 24,000 VCSP partners, which I guess are increased now. 65,000 plus Veeam resellers who are selling traditional Veeam infrastructure like subscription based licensing, perpetual based licensing. Along with it, 365,000 plus Veeam customers, which again is an old slide. Now this becomes more than 400,000 plus customers. So if you see an opportunity in the market is there for the VCSP partners. There are some pros of being an VCSP partners. What are those? Let's talk about it. If we talk about what is VCSP, right? So many partners come to me and they ask me what exactly VCSP is. So VCSP is nothing. It's very simple. It's called Veeam Cloud Service Provider. With this term, what we do, we enable our partners to provide backup as a service, DR as a service on using their data center to their partners, right? So lots of partners ask, does Veeam has a cloud? So the answer is very simple. Veeam is a very partners focused company. So Veeam does not have their own cloud. Instead, what Veeam does, Veeam enables their partners to have their own cloud and start selling those services on their platform. Now, in order to sell those services from their platform, they need to have a data center, right? So in that data center, there are a couple of components which you need to place in order to sell those services, backup as a service, DR as a service. So for you as a partner, sometimes it becomes difficult to build an entire data center, host Veeam services, and sell those services for your end customer. So what we did, since we already have a very nice platform, which is cloud platform, which obviously gives you all the hardware resources which are available. So on that platform, how we can build it, we'll talk about it in coming slides. So let's talk about a bit about the challenges which you face as a partner when you are selling MSP services. So we have kind of understood couple of major challenges which an MSP faces when they are providing their services to the partner, sorry, to the customer. So the number one service, the number one challenge which you face as a partner is the connectivity, right? You need to have a proper connectivity with end customer to provide your managed services. sometimes it becomes difficult to get the connectivity, whether it's a VPN connectivity, whether you talk about MPLS connectivity or any other kind of connectivity. So to connect into customer environment from your managed service provider data center becomes an issue for an MSP. Second part is browsing of your infrastructure, right? How you can see each and every component of customer infrastructure which needs to be protected. Because when it comes to backup and DR, you need to browse almost the entire infrastructure of customer, right? So that infrastructure becomes a challenge for you. Then discovery and management, how you create discovery rule, how you manages those rules. Means, for example, if in an environment you have 100 VMs and let's say 1000 workstations, and you are using security policies, you are using some DLP solutions, etc., etc. So for you it becomes very difficult to discover and manage those from one centralized console. These are the major challenges you as an MSP faces. Then the important part is the billing. How do you keep a track of your efforts or the services which you are providing to your customer? How you can justify that the amount which you are taking from your end customer is justifiable, or what are the type of efforts you are doing, right? So there should be something which should be visible to an end customer, wherein they can see that you as an MSP are doing efforts to protect their environment. So billing becomes a very important part. Okay, then nowadays lots of talks are going on about security, how secure your data center is, how secure your and backup environment is, how you can make sure that the data which you are backing up from customer premise to your premise, is it secured, is it ransomware protected, uh, what are the levels of protection layers you uses. So these are couple of challenges which you face as an MSP, or your end customer may ask you about these things, how you are going to manage these things, right? So to overcome these things, what we do, we have one very nice tool called Veeam Service Provider Console, right? This is a web-based tool which is free of cost for VCSPs, for Veeam Cloud Service Providers. This tool provides you three types of things. So let me just highlight it. It's a web-based customer onboarding, billing, and licensing tool, right? You need to install it in your environment. Once you install it, there is one URL. On that URL, when you log in, you can perform all these three services: onboarding, billing, and licensing. In my demo overview, I'll show you the console, how it looks like, how you can onboard, how you can create billing templates, how you can distribute the licensing, which becomes a most important part. Then the second part is the device discovery. Device discovery is the most important part, right? You need to automate your process, either to push the agents to the workstation, right? So how do you do it? You cannot do it manually by going on to each and every workstation or server or virtual machine. So how you can create different automation rules for Windows and Linux based environment. Then your self-service customer access, right? You can create a tenant view. In this means your customer can also have an access of this service provider console, and they can see what is happening in their environment when it comes to backup, when it comes to DR, when it comes to monitoring, right? What this service provider console does, service provider console protects your customer environment. Your customer environment can be virtual servers, can be physical servers, can be workstation, can be cloud, right? So all those 3 4 workloads you can manage it using service provider console. So here just one thing I want to highlight. Here in my slide it says version 4, but recently Veeam had released a newer version, which is version 5. which carries lots of new enhancements. The guys who are following Veeam, they must be aware of the fact that Veeam had recently launched V11. So the Veeam Service Provider Console version 5 supports V11. So it supports CDP as well as it supports the automation of Linux agents as well. So previously only it was Windows agent, now Linux agents automation was also supported. I'll talk about this in my brief demo, what does it mean. It's a very nice feature which Veeam had introduced. So this is about the Veeam Service Provider Console. Once again, this comes free of cost. You don't have to pay anything, only available for the partners who wants to sell Veeam service provider, Veeam cloud services. So with service provider console, what you can do, it's a very simplified setup. It's like, when Veeam creates, or when Veeam built any kind of product, the main motto of that product, it should be simple, right? It should be GUI driven. So if you are familiar with the Veeam backup application or Veeam backup Office 365, I'm 100% sure you have seen the easiness while deploying that product, how easy it is. It's like next kind of wizard driven, right? So it's a same type of implementation task being given in the service provider console. It's GUI driven, very easy to configure. With service provider console, again, you can do remote monitoring and management, right? You have certain tools with the help of which you can do monitoring of your infrastructure, you can manage your infrastructure, you can integrate and automate it, you can integrate it with the cloud storages which are available, you can create DR plans using orchestrator and all. You can show the value of the DR plans by creating failover plans, etc, etc. Aggregated usage reporting and billing. You can create an entire billing template for your tenant and you can provide them on monthly basis. Customer can also have a view of it, as well as you can also have a view of it. You can create multiple templates for your different tenants. That is also supported. Multi-tenant self-serviceability. Veeam Service Provider Console is a multi-tenant tool. You can onboard as much tenant as you can. This tool works with SQL database at the backend. This is scalable tool. So for you, there won't be any problem when it comes to onboarding number of tenants. So this tool, again, once again, it's a free tool. You don't have to pay anything for it. Now, for you, we talked about the services, we talked about the backup as a service, we talked about the DR as a service. Now, since you are a partner who don't want to, let's say, invest in a data center, because somewhere you need to host those services. So in order to sell backup as a service, DR as a service, you need to install Veeam backup replication tool, you need to install Veeam service provider console tool, you need to install Veeam cloud connect tool. These are the three important tools which you need to install, configure, and put it in your environment. So when it comes to AWS, everybody knows that AWS is a cloud platform which provides the compute resources. So what we did, we created a small bundle on pay as you go platform with the bare minimum EC2 resources which we are using. So what we did, we have taken an AWS storage of 1 TB from the EC2 instance of Windows platform, which carries 2 vCPU and 8 GB RAM, right? So this calculation, we have taken it from the cost estimator of AWS. So if you choose pay as you go model with this 2 vCPU and 8 GB RAM with 1 TB of space to AWS, right? Means to AWS, you need to pay almost $223 plus 11.5, approximately $235 per month to host these services. And to back up one virtual machine, let's say you want to sell backup as a service, you need to pay $10.67 per month to a Veeam. right? So in total per month to back up one virtual machine in cloud using one EC2 instances with 1 TB of resources and this much of RAM and CPU, you need to pay $245.4 per month to Veeam and to AWS, right? Once again, as everybody is already aware that AWS is also a scalable platform, Veeam is also a scalable infrastructure. You can scale out or scale in at any point of time this infrastructure. If you see the load of the tenant is increasing, you can increase the resources at any point of time. You can distribute your architecture at any point of time. The only cost will either go up or down. So if you see in an year to back to use 1 TB of EBS volume to back up one VM, you as a partner, you need to pay $2944.7 per year. So this is a small template which we have used, or which we are kind of explaining it to you as a partner, how easy, how cheaper it is to build a VCSP infrastructure on AWS platform. It is not rocket science. So when you start building this infrastructure on AWS, you can see that the value of the solution becomes more, because AWS by default you can create so many roles with the help of which it can be geo redundant, high availability will be there, fault tolerance will be there, etc., etc. And with Veeam solution you can also convince your customer that using Veeam technology, the backup and the DR part which you are doing is 100% available, 100% secure using different technology. So this is about the Veeam on AWS bundle. So let's talk about one promo which we have specifically run by Redington for the AWS partners who wants to host it VCSP platform on AWS. So in Veeam we have like three types of commit plans, point plans. So I'll talk about these plans in my coming slides. So here the promo is $100 for no commit plan, wherein there is no contract. $150 given by Redington for 200 point commit plan. It's 1 year contract. $200 for 1 year contract for 800 point commit plan. So this is being run by Redington. It has a limited validity. So if you want to join in, you can avail these promo prices. This is a cash which can be given it to a partner. So without further wasting due time, let's give you an overview of the VCSP solution. I'll quickly share my screen. Here you go. Just give me a second. Yeah. So this is, if you can see, this is a Veeam service provider console tool. Again, it's a web-based tool, works on the DNS services. This is how it looks like when you first log in. This is the main dashboard which you see. So I was already logged in. Let me see what is happening. Come on. Just a minute. Yeah. So this is the main view which you see as a service provider. It gives you overview wherein it gives you a nice dashboard wherein you can see lots of tabs. You can configure this dashboard according to your requirement. The same dashboard, this is a Veeam service provider view, which is a master view, right? Same view can be created for your different tenants, wherein only the tenant can see his view, wherein he can see his dashboard related with his infrastructure. Now for you as a partner, as I said, Veeam service provider console is a very easy tool, right? If you click on the configuration, you see these number of tasks which you need to do. So Veeam guides you how to configure your Veeam service provider console. So once you install this is a pre-configured Windows certificate. You need to add Veeam Cloud Connect server. You need to configure the notifications. Once you are done with it, then your service provider console is configured. right? So if you see what you need to do, if you click on the step, it will guide you what needs to be done. You need to click on new, you need to add the DNS of your Veeam Cloud Connect server. It is as simple as that. So it gives you all the functionalities, by clicking on getting started, it will gives you a complete guide what needs to be done to properly configure this tool. Second part is the company profile. This is your company profile, which you being a service provider can configure. You can use your logo if you want, you can brand it in all the reports, your logo will come on. And the important thing is subscription plans. You can create multiple subscription plans. Subscription plans are your kind of invoices which you create. Means, for example, for each customer, let's say you can create different subscription plans. You can create it in dollar, you can create it in dirhams, you can create in your own currency wherever you are sitting, and whatever tax and all thing you want to put in, you can put it. Whatever level of discount you want to put in, you can do that. What are you providing this to your customer? If you are providing, let's say, managed services, let's say your managed services is 10 dollar or 10 dirhams per month, how many VMs you want to protect, 10, how many cloud VMs, etc., etc. You can customize your billing template according to your requirement, and this template can be created. Means you can create multiple tenants. For example, for tenant number 1, you have one specific template dedicated to them. Then for tenant number 2, you have different template, which is associated with cost and all. So these type of templates can be created for your partners, for your end customers. Everything can be created in here. So it is a very nice thing which can be created here. So once you create your company profile, once you create your subscription plans, then after that, the last step is to onboard a tenant, right? So add your first client to the backup portal. You need to create a tenant. Creating a tenant is very easy. So here, just one thing I want to highlight. You can create a tenant, means you can onboard an end customer, as well as if some resellers also want to sell backup as a service and DR as a service, you can add reseller as well, right? The sub reseller who wants to sell Veeam services, but he don't have either the capability or he don't have the bandwidth to sell those services, so he can utilize your platform to sell your backup as a service, DR as a service. You can onboard a reseller as well. So just to gives you a view how you can do it. You can name your company. Okay, company 1, let's say. Okay, login alias, whatever you want to give them, any text ID, etc., etc., the entire template, you can do it. Once you do this, after that, you can see there are, okay, you can see, you can put user info, cloud resources, billing part, the bandwidth. If you are using multi-factor authentication, all those things you can put it. So it is very easy to onboard a tenant here. Once the tenant profile is created, after that, the important part which I wanted to show you guys is the plans, is to create your users rules. You remember we talked about automation. So in automation, if you see, if you click on discovery, you can create two types of automation rules: a Windows-based automation rule, a Linux-based automation rule. We talked about the connectivity. What happened? This tool is published onto the internet, right? You are using your firewall and you are publishing this over the internet. So to protect your customer environment, you don't have to have a VPN connectivity or any type of connectivity. What Veeam does, using these automation scripts, automation tools, Veeam creates an SSL VPN tunnel by itself, by creating its own URL, which creates an SSL VPN tunnel, and you can push the agents for Windows and Linux workloads using your service provider console. It's fully automated. It's very secure because it uses SSL VPN signatures, and you can protect your customer environment using this SSL VPN tunnel, right? Along with it, it also supports CDP. It also supports Veeam backup replication version 11. It also supports the orchestration part. So you can utilize all those things in this. So it was a very brief, overview which I wanted to give you, just to have a look and feel of this, tool, how it looks like. So coming back to our slide, uh, just give me a sec. Let me share my slide once again. Yeah. So the purpose of showing you the overview of this tool is to have a look and feel of the Vcsp platform, how you can build it onto an EC2 instance, onto AWS platform. Now, if we talk about the important part, licensing, right? Usage reporting and billing, everything in one place you can see. So for Vcsp licensing, it is bit different compared to the normal reseller based licensing, wherein you pay either 1 year upfront or you pay perpetual licensing to us, to distributors. In Vcsp, it's bit different. It's a point based system. The billing is monthly. You have to pay to us on monthly basis, depends on the contract which you choose. So for you being a partner at an initial stage, if you want to evaluate the product, right, you can start with the no commitment, wherein there is no commit from Veeam side, there is no commit from Redington side. uh, if you are consuming anything, you will pay. If you are not consuming anything, you will not pay. For example, you are a partner, you want to test the product, you want to onboard a customer, but it can take maybe a month or 2 months. You can utilize this tool. You don't have to pay even a single dollar to us, right? If you are utilizing Veeam services, because there are certain tools you have to submit the report to us by the end of every month. If it is zero consumption, it will be $0. So there is no commitment. If you sign a volume rental agreement with us, right, which is minimum 200 points. So what are those points? I'll explain you in my coming slides. So if it is 200 points with minimum monthly commitment, you need to minimum pay for 200 points, right? I'll explain you what exactly it means. Each Veeam product has its value in points. So if we talk about the Veeam price list, each product of Veeam, the guys who are familiar with Veeam product portfolio, Veeam has Veeam Backup Replication Enterprise Plus, Veeam has Veeam Backup for Office 365, then different Cloud Connect modules. So each module has some points associated with it. So let me explain you what exactly it is. So if you see on my left hand side, this is a price list of Veeam for 2020 and 21 also. So if you see, to back up one virtual machine using Veeam Backup Enterprise Plus, you are paying 11 points. 11 points is associated with $1 value, right? If you want to back up a physical server running on Windows or Linux platform, you are again consuming 11 points. If you want to back up workstation, you are consuming 4 points. If you want to back up NAS, you're consuming 10. If you want to back up any enterprise apps like SAP HANA, Oracle, etc., supported by Veeam, you are paying 11. On the other hand, if you are using Veeam Cloud Connect product, which is like backup storage as a service, if you want to keep backup server, physical server, 7 points, virtual machine 5 points, workstation 3 points, replica of VMS 10 points. Similarly, to backup Veeam Backup Office 365 is 1.5 points per month. Now, what are those points? How do we calculate? Where is the dollar value, right? Dollar value is depend on the platform, on the plan which you choose. So for example, on no commit plan, right now it's $0.97 per point, right? So which is again revising by next month with April price list. It is going a bit up, but it is there. For next plan, which is 200-point commit plan, it's $0.87 per point. So you can calculate your value accordingly, whatever number of points you are consuming based on your commit plan or no commit plan, you can calculate the dollar value accordingly, right? Now we have a very nice tool called Vcsp Pulse. Vcsp Pulse is a tool which is being introduced by Veeam only for the service provider, which gives you a consolidation of your entire license usages. For you as a partner, it becomes very easy to generate license files, right? Means, for example, you have a requirement wherein your customer says, I don't want your managed services, I only require Veeam license files of, let's say, backup replication enterprise plus. I will manage it by myself, you just give me the license file. So you being a service provider, you can do that also, right? You can create a license file from Vcsp Pulse portal, you can provide it to your customer, and for us, you need to be charged monthly based on the utilization, and you can either take money from customer, up to you, maybe every quarter, 1 year, by year, up to you, and you can pay us on 12 monthly EMIs. So what it means that using Vcsp Pulse for the managed service provider, you see an opportunities in all the fields of the Veeam where Veeam licenses are being sold, right? It becomes very easy. Once again, only service provider will have access to this tool. It's an online tool provided by Veeam itself, right? So you can do month-to-month tracking, you can do usage reporting per license key, dashboard for Veeam and aggregation, etc., etc. Right? This is how it looks like. You can go to Veeam Partner Portal. If you want to have a look of the Vcsp solution, choose this URL, put your email ID, and you can go inside the Pulse, right? So this is about Vcsp platform on AWS, how you can utilize the Veeam services on the AWS platform. What are the backup as a service, DR as a services, which are being provided by Vcsp. So that's it. This is all about it. Let's see if you have any questions. And good afternoon.
Thank you all for joining this session. I will be ending it now.